This is the lecture on evidence of evolution. This is section 15.2. In this section, we will talk about five different evidences scientists have gathered to conclude evolution. The five that we will talk about include fossil records, biogeography, homologous structures, comparative embryology, and then molecular biology. So first we'll talk about fossil records. So what a fossil is, it's an impression of the organism from mineralized in rock. So basically the organism will die. It will be smushed in between rock surfaces and the impression remains in the rock. This is to observe modern forms compared to the ancestor form. So in this picture here, we have an ancestral fish. They could use this to compare it to a modern day fish. How fossils are distributed in rock. This is called the law of superposition. This is basically stating that the lower layers of rock are the oldest rock forms, and the rocks towards the surface of Earth are the newest rocks. So what a mass extinction then is, so this is a period of time where a large number of species disappeared. This would be like the dinosaur age, where mass extinction of dinosaurs had gone extinct at one time. And you can see in the law of superposition, when a mass extinction occurred, more fossils would show up in that layer of rock. The second type of evidence is called biogeography. This is a study of the locations of organisms around the world, so how they're geographically distributed. So new organisms are going to arise in the same geographical area where similar forms already lived. So the best example of this would be kangaroos in Australia. So more ancient form of kangaroos, their fossil records would have been found in Australia, and now arising a new form of kangaroo still live in Australia. And you can see a variety of different forms of related species of kangaroo there as well, such as the wallaby. And the third type is homologous structures. Homologous structures are anatomical, which means if you think of anatomy, it's the body structures that occur in different species that most commonly originated from a common ancestor. This could be something that has different functions but looks the same. So one example here are bird beaks. So bird beaks have many different functions to them, but they also can look very similar. So some birds are more hunters and would use it to kill prey, whereas some birds use it to eat seeds. So that would be a homologous structure. On the next slide, we'll talk about forelimbs. So this is the structure of homology of forelimbs in different organisms. So we have a turtle, human, a horse, a bird, a bat, and a seal. As you can see by the color coding, all of these structures look very different, but they do have the same kind of structural function there. As you can see, the green are phalanges, which are fingers. As you looking at all the fingers, they have a common similarity to them. Metacarpals is like your forehand, and that is indicated in yellow. Your carpals or your wrist is indicated in white. The radius and ulna, which is your actual lower portion of your arm, indicated in red. And then the humerus, which is the bone connected to the elbow, your upper arm is indicated in blue. So all of these structures have a forearm to them that have a similar structure, but they have different functions. So you could see a bird and a bat would be used for flying and wings, I don't think our forearms allow us to fly. So different structures, but they have similar makeups to them. Going along with that is comparative anatomy. This is looking at structures that are common amongst ancestors as well. So comparing a chimpanzee skull to a human skull, they can do a comparative anatomy looking at the different bone structures. Analogous structures are a little bit different than homologous structures, and these are easily confused. So analogous structure is a body part that is similar in function to another organism due to environmental pressures. So because the environment encourages this structure to be needed, it will be present. So the example would be wings for flying. A moth and a bird develop independently, but they have that common function of flying. At the bottom, the picture there is bat and a bird wing. Bats and birds' wings look very different. Bats almost look like fingers, like the skin in between fingers, and a bird has obviously feathers on their wings. So very different look to them, but they have the same exact function, which is for flying. A vestigial structure, this is a part of an organism with little or no function at all, but it could indicate that an ancestor would have used this feature because it's present in the body. So looking at the bottom portion here on the human, one of our vestigial structures is our tailbone. The tailbone really has no function to our use, but this could have indicated that a previous ancestor of ours may have had a tail. So that is an example of a vestigial structure for us. Some other vestigial structures, human goosebumps, okay? Human goosebumps, they don't really have a function except telling us that we're cold. But the function in chimpanzees is that hair would be attached to those follicles, and when there's some kind of emotion in the chimp or they feel threatened, they will get those goosebumps and their hair would rise. So this could have been a structure that our ancestors would have used to scare off predators. In the whale here, whales have a bone towards the back end near their tail that serves no purpose at all. But this is a structure that could have indicated that whales may have had an ancestor that would have walked on Earth, on the surface of the land. So this could have indicated whales would have had ancestors with 4 legs. Comparative embryology, this is the 4th type. This is where we study embryonic development for different species and look at their stages and compare the stages of the embryos. So looking at the bottom here, we're looking at vertebrates. Vertebrates means that you have a backbone. And this is the early stage of these embryos. So you have a fish, you have a reptile, you have a bird, and a human. These early embryos have very striking similarities to them. This could have indicated coming from a common ancestor. This is another picture here showing the embryos of a chick and also the human. This one indicates that there was a gill pouch, and the embryos show the development of a tail. So a common ancestor may have had both of those present. And finally, the last portion here is molecular biology. This would be going back to chapter 10, looking at DNA, looking for similar sequences in the DNA of 2 close related species to each other. So looking at the DNA, the RNA, the proteins, and amino acids that are coded by different organisms can indicate the idea of being a common ancestor to each other. So what you would use would be the amino acid chart, which we talked extensively in Chapter 10 about. Being able to indicate what amino acids are produced could indicate a common ancestor. How we would set common ancestors up would be using phylogeny or a phylogenetic tree. This would show relationships by ancestry among groups of organisms. This is known also as the tree of life. So looking down here at the picture, you have a branch of bacteria, you have a branch of archaea, and you have a branch of eukarya, which are eukaryotic cells. And it shows the common branches on ancestry. So the closer the branches are together, the more closely related the organisms would be. And that is section 15.2. We will go over this again in class briefly, and we will do an activity that goes along with that material. Thank you.